also saying pro-Hamas.
And that's what the British government says about Hamas, and that's for them to say.
Yeah, but they did massacre.
The only good point is that their point.
Hamas and Hezbollah.
Kneecap.
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the go-to series for military news, tactical analysis, and frontline stories that matter. Before we get started, I need your help. 73% of you who watch regularly haven't subscribed yet. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and helps us make this show better for you every single week. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is Tactical Truths. There we go. Jeremy Corbyn at it again. This time backing a band called Kneecap. Their name, a nod to the brutal IRA tactic of shooting people in the knees during the Troubles. They've praised Hamas, joked about killing MPs, and yet Corbyn stands by them. This isn't about free speech, it's about glorifying terror. And by the way, this ain't a political thing. This is just about somebody being extremely stupid. Let's look at what's been happening, shall we?
I can't believe that this man nearly ended up being our Prime Minister.
Fucking can you imagine if he was the Prime Minister? Oh! Well, he didn't, so that's a good thing.
Jeremy Corbyn has now come out in support of the terrorist sympathisers Kneecap. Now, if you don't remember who Kneecap are, they were in some controversy a little while ago for getting a government grant.
A government grant. Here you go, have some money.
From some music and arts fund to
Music and arts.
support their work, even though in their music videos they actively glorify the IRA, and now they are being investigated by the counter-terror police.
And rightly so. We've got a Royal Marine who voiced his opinions on stuff that he thought was acceptable, all right, and that I think was acceptable, standards, etc., etc., etc. This is fucking terrorism. This is... Ugh.
For saying this at a concert.
Listen to this. This is beggars belief. There you go. You've got the holy trilogy of terrorist organisations. What a pack of idiots.
Did you hear that?
Brrr.
Up Hamas, up Hezbollah. Now, they've said in some statement, oh, of course, we
Oh, and the Tracheala bit as well. IRA, our day will come.
never support Hamas and Hezbollah, but quite clearly in that video, there was support of Hamas and...
What are they doing there if they're not supporting it? Come on. How can you...
Hezbollah. Hence, the counter-terror police are investigating it. They are also in trouble for...
Be interesting to see where this counter-terrorism police investigation goes and if they actually pull these people in. Because in my book, they should already be under lock and key.
saying this at a concert as well.
Yeah, listen to this. This is the next level up even.
You're Tories. The only good point is that their point.
Is a dead Tory. I mean, that's going back the years. That's not going forward. That's not progressive. That's not required. That's ridiculous. What a stupid fool that man is. And the people cheering are no better. Kill your local MP. That's a responsible thing to say to an impressionable crowd, isn't it?
Yes, like, how can you say that, not just amongst your friends, but to an audience full of...
And Jeremy, they're his friends.
Jeremy Corbyn, he loves these guys. Let's have a look at, it's Guido that were reporting this. Let's take a look at the article that they've written. They say, on the same morning that counter-terror police began a full investigation into Kneecap, one man has come out in support of the band. You guessed it, Jezza's Peace and Justice Project has released a statement backing the trio. It reads, this past week has seen a clear concerted attempt to censor and ultimately deplatform Kneecap. So just
Deplatform? Lock them up. Not even deplatform them. Lock them up. What they've said and what they've done and what they've incited, I can put a Facebook post up that people might not like, and I go off to chokey. These people are on a platform singing about it, dancing about it, posting it on their posts. Unbelievable. Next level of absolute buffoonery.
For context, they are meant to be playing at a bunch of festivals like Glastonbury.
Glastonbury, where there's thousands of impressionable young people who are drunk and pissed up and doing what... And you want to put them in front of them so you can give it your free Palestine and up Hamas and all that? No! No!
And whatnot, but there are now a lot of calls online for them to lose their ability to play at these music festivals, given the
lose their ability to cut around in general. They're let alone playing at festivals.
Support of terrorist organisations. The statement goes on to read, in a democracy, no political figures or political parties should have the right to dictate who does and doesn't play music at festivals or gigs.
Right, he's always blurring the lines. All right, yeah, I get the fact that you shouldn't be able to sort of like dictate what people say and what they can't. But when you're blatantly encouraging terrorism and deeds against other people, that's wrong. That's wrong, and that needs to be stopped. He's taking the piss. He's sort of like reading the law and bending it for his own agenda.
Question of agreeing with Kneecap's political views is irrelevant. It is...
No, it's not irrelevant. It's dangerous.
In the key interests of every artist that all creative expression be protected in a society that values culture, and that this interference campaign is condemned and ridiculed. You know, I think there's a...
Condemned and ridiculed. The only person that should be condemned and ridiculed is Corbyn.
Bit of a difference between valuing culture and supporting terrorist organisations that rape and massacre girls at a music festival.
Yeah, nailed it, young lady. She's nailed it, isn't she? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. And telling people to murder their MPs, like that is inciting violence. I do think that maybe there's a line.
I can't even put a toy gun on my TikTok account without it being taken down. To
be drawn there, I cannot understand why Jeremy Corbyn is coming out and supporting these people, but the man is deluded. And they mention in this...
Good luck indeed. Now, you might not have heard of them, but there's a Belfast...
There you go, GB News are going to tear the spot. Surely, please.
...based rap trio called Kneecap, who've been causing a huge amount of controversy. They've just been cancelled from a performance at the Eden Project. And one of their lines in their songs says, what is it, Andrew?
It says, the only good Tory is a...
Look at them. What a trio of absolute trash. Do you know what I mean? Look at me. Go on, bust out some gang signs. Go on.
Tory, kill your local MP.
Now, some new footage has emerged of, old
They look like artists, don't they? Piss artists.
Footage of them saying up Hamas, up Hezbollah, and
that matey in the back there, he's got my grandmother's 70s wallpaper from her kitchen as a fucking shirt.
Since then, the group have apologised to the families of the MPs who were tragically murdered, including MPs Joe Cox and Sir David Amess.
Oh, little chance of you getting in a bit of trouble is there. Start apologising, backpedaling. Fuck off, no.
Now, the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, who's the Tory Home Affairs spokesman, has asked Glastonbury Festival to cancel Kneecap from their lineup in the light of the killing MP remarks. Is this going a little bit over the top? What do you think?
So we're joined now by campaigns coordinator for the Revolutionary Communist Party, Fiona Lally. Fiona, good to see you. So tell us what you make of this story. What's going on here?
Come on, Fiona, let's hear what you got to say.
I say that this is actually about Palestine. I think what's happening right now is there's a smear campaign where you've got the whole of the British establishment and the media coming down on this group because they've used their platform to call for a free Palestine and to talk about...
No. Have you ever been to Palestine, have you? No.
How the West is complicit in the genocide that's taking place. And so they're trying to silence them. And I don't think it's going to work. And I think it's an example of how out of touch the media is.
Yeah, so condoning terrorist organisations, condoning people that kill, murder, butcher, rape, anything that gets in their way, that's all right, that's okay, that's all right. That'll free Palestine, that'll free up, won't it? Of course it will.
How out of touch Parliament is with how ordinary people think about Palestine.
Well, the Palestine issue is...
No, our nutters think about Palestine on this one. I've been to Palestine, all right? I've seen, and I've done things over there, okay? All right? And I understand that there's a lot of very nice, normal, ordinary people caught up in a hideous, horrific situation which is beyond their control until the extremities can sort their shit out and life can be put back, maybe one day to normal, maybe never in our lifetime. But this is not about that. This is about glorifying terrorist organisations. So you are out of turn, my friend.
Sort of secondary in a way, because the first bit of this story that
The Palestine issue is an excuse. That's what it is.
came to the attention was this idea of a best Tory is a dead Tory, whatever it is. And Kemi Badenoch waded in on this and said that they should be cancelled for saying that. So surely this is...
Cancelled, they should be arrested. If I put that or similar on any of my social media accounts and somebody felt threatened, I'd go straight down the pan. Straight down the pan. I've had it. I got stood to for saying something not even derogatory, inflammatory or incitatory towards someone. And I got a tug, all right? So I've been there.
It's about whether they would have the freedom of speech to express those sorts of violent, aggressive, hateful views rather than the Palestine issue, which seems rather secondary.
I don't think it's secondary because this has come about because they were at Coachella and they put behind themselves Free Palestine and they got the crowd, they got everyone chanting Free Palestine because that is what most people think and that's what they want.
Fine, you do that. You can shout Free Palestine all you like, okay? You're not going to make a difference, that's for sure. But condoning organisations that spread terror, involve themselves in terror, and ultimately are against every moral standard and value that we would like to portray ourselves as being in this country, stop doing it. It's not right. It needs to be squashed.
But they were also, can I just jump in? They were also saying pro-Hamas, making pro-Hamas statements. And Hamas is a terrorist organisation that, as we know, was responsible for massacring many Israelis last October.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the British government says about Hamas, and that's for them to say.
No, that's all right, is it? That's all right. So that's what the British government says about... That's a fact. That's a fact. It's a documented, evidenced fact.
No, but they did massacre those people.
The point is...
No, hang on, do you not accept that?
Let's have it right. This isn't artistic expression. It's provocation wrapped in a beat. And now you've got Jeremy Corbyn, the same bloke who called Hamas and Hezbollah his friends, endorsing a band whose name literally refers to kneecapping. That's not a metaphor. That's not wordplay. That's a real-world paramilitary punishment used by the IRA during the Troubles, especially during Op Banner. You stepped out of line, they shot you in the knees, sometimes in both legs. It wasn't justice, it was control through cruelty. And that's the image this band wants to wear like a badge of honour. They're not shy about it either. They ain't just pushing boundaries, they're openly chanting up Hamas at gigs. They've joked about killing MPs on stage. Corbyn, who once laid a wreath for the Munich terrorists, is now smiling and backing this lot. It's beyond offensive, it's reckless. Imagine how this lands with veterans, with the families of the 3,500 plus lives lost during the conflict in Northern Ireland, with the lads who patrols those Belfast estates, dodging IEDs, calming riots, praying they wouldn't go home in a box. This isn't about free speech, it's about who gets elevated and what gets normalised. We're watching the lines between art and advocacy for violence being blurred. And Corbyn, once again, he's right there, front and centre of the whole fucking parade, pretending this is about culture, Irish identity, when it's clearly about pushing a political message that whitewashes terrorism. Even now, the footage of the band chanting "Up Hamas" is under review by counter-terrorism officials. And what does Corbyn say? They're power voices. No, mate, they're reckless idiot voices. Voices that echo the darkest parts of our recent history. Voices that mock the idea of peace, of reconciliation, and of moving forward. So let's draw the line right here. You want to write protest songs? Fine. But glorify terror, real terror, you lose the right to stand unchallenged. If you joke about murdering MPs, don't expect a pat on the back. And if you're a politician, especially one who's been trusted with leadership, You don't get to hide behind music when the lyrics cheer on groups that butcher civilians. This isn't cultural commentary, it's a fucking disgrace. Don't forget to subscribe for more Tactical Truth. And if you served in Hot Banner or lost someone on this conflict, drop your thoughts and comments. This one's personal and it needs to be pushed out there.